Damn them all! This parchment is a noose! Out of my way!
My liege, the barons!
Let them choke on their own ink!
Oh wow, who might have that been?
Why, it was King Jonathan.
But why? Why did he do this?
Because he signed the Magna Carta and gave up part of his power.
You've got me all curious, man. I just gotta know. What happened after?
Because, Plato, it was signed to stop a rebellion that happened in 1215.
I remember now. Let's teach our friend about this.
I concur, my friend. Allow me to start. Let me give you some backstory, my friend. Through the early to mid-17th century, England was going through various issues with its constitutional system. From as early as the 13th century, England had established that the king should retain all power within the kingdom, this being exemplified by the Magna Carta signed in 1215. To be more in-depth, the Magna Carta established that future rulers, presently focusing on King John, however, should be limited in power and must be willing to abide by the laws of England. As time progressed, this limitation of power solely established what is now known as Parliament, a governmental body which is composed of representatives from towns and counties throughout England. Parliament slowly gained the ability to instate taxes and legislation, but soon enough, monarchs within England would begin to grow disconnected from Parliament's power. After Queen Elizabeth I's death, James IV of Scotland was soon to take control of the English throne in 1603. Now known as James I, he was quick to detest any form of constitutionalism or parliament within the English monarchy, insisting that he had divine right to rule. If this wasn't clear enough, he had strong belief in absolutist rule. James I started to show his belief in absolute rulership when he started using impositions to place taxes without consent of the English Parliament. These impositions clearly went against English customs pre-existing from the Magna Carta, though, as of 1625, James I had died from natural causes. But he had left some civil disputes within England in his brief rulership. Shortly after, Charles I was quick to succeed James I, and now was the new ruler of England. Starting his rule in 1625, Charles I, just like James, believed in absolutist rulership and obviously believed in his divine right to rule England. Charles I also had Archbishop Laud as a close advisor, insisting that he believed in the Catholic faith. England was widely Protestant, so members of Parliament were starting to get enraged by Charles I. Soon enough, Charles had disbanded Parliament for 11 years, and all forms of civil tranquility started to fade out within England. If it wasn't made clear, the main causes to English civil war were the tense bouts between the absolute rulers and the Parliament. Religious differences and unprecedented taxation were also major causes. Now, as of 1642, this marked the official start of the English Civil War. Now, Plato will teach you the main events of the English Civil War.
Picking back up at 1642, at Nottingham Castle, Charles I was officially declaring war against Parliament with his own army in tow. As this conflict awoke, it inspired people to pick a side. Roundheads opposed the king, while Cavaliers supported the king. To respond against this attack, however, Parliament established their own army, known as the New Model Army. This army was led by Oliver Cromwell and Sir Thomas Fairfax, both predominantly Puritan. Parliament previously established militias, and they were far superior to the army established by Charles I, since they were provided pay. However, these militias usually lacked proper unified commanding, showing weakness in some situations. Parliament finally found their luck with the New Model Army, since it was unified and incredibly strict under Cromwell's supervision. The New Model Army and other parliamentary militias fought in various battles, the major ones being Edge Hill, Marston Moor, and Naseby. The Battle of Edge Hill was the first battle to happen within the English Civil War. It took place on October 23rd, 1642, and it focused on a parliamentary militia led by Robert Devereux against Charles I's royal army. Charles I's army consisted of 12,400 troops, and Robert's consisted of 15,000 troops. As Charles I had his royal army march down to London, they were quick to encounter parliamentary troops garnished within the open country of Banbury and Warwick. Robert Devereux was informed of this and was on his way with the main parliamentary militia. Once both caught a glimpse of one another, they both instantly prepared themselves for battle that would occur on the upcoming day. On October 23rd, the battle was brief.
This really is the Battle of Edge Hill.
It consisted mostly of consistent artillery fire until the Royal Cavalry, led by Charles I's nephew, Prince Rupert, launched a powerful attack against Parliament's cavalry. However, this attack lasted for too long, resulting in Robert's infantry to push them back. As night was approaching, the two sides ceased their attacking and soon disengaged in the battle. They had prepared to battle once more, but didn't have the strength nor energy to do so. In conclusion, it only took until October 25th for Charles I's army to continue its march to London. He was planning to take Banbury until the battle happened. With this 2 days of time, Robert was quick to establish a stronger defense for the upcoming Royalist army, and it was reinforced by London's militia. There were 1,000 men that died, and 2,000 more that were wounded from this battle. The Battle of Marston Moor, taking place on July 2nd, 1644, was a major and incredibly important battle within the English Civil War. This battle was the first that introduced Parliament's new model army, to which it, battled against Charles I's royal army.
Welcome to Marston Moor! Let me show you around!
2 years from when the war started, Charles I was on the defense in the north. This initially started with the royal army, led by Marquis of Newcastle, retreating towards York, a town in England. As they arrived at York, they were quickly besieged by a militia that was formed by both parliamentary and Scottish troops. This force was led by Sir Thomas Fairfax and the Earl of Leven, but this militia soon met with opposition from Charles I. Charles I commanded his nephew, Prince Rupert, to take some troops in order to relieve the royal army from the siege. As he approached York, the parliamentary militia stopped attacking the standing one at York, and soon marched on to encounter Rupert's approaching one. Soon enough, both forces met each other at Marston Moor, and the battle quickly ensued.
Welcome to Marston Moor! Let me show you around!
The Royal Army had roughly 18,000 troops, consisting of both infantry and cavalry. But this amount was meager to the roughly 27,000 troops, also consisting of infantry and cavalry, from Parliament's side. As their forces battled, Oliver Cromwell took charge of some cavalry troops, this being his first major interaction from the English Civil War. After some short artillery exchanges that weren't effective, Cromwell charged his cavalry troops towards the royal army, this proving to be effective as he diminished the part of the royalist cavalry. Cromwell then took his attention towards Lord George Gordon, another leader for the royalist army. And then he made sure to attack them through flanking their location. After these confrontations, Cromwell was able to dismantle the royal army, soon resulting with them retreating from Parliament's offense. After 2 weeks, the Royalists finally surrendered their standing at York, concluding this battle. This battle was the first tracings of Parliament's new model army. The Battle of Naseby occurred on June 14th, 1645. Parliament's newly formed New Model Army and Charles I's Royal Army encountered each other at Naseby, a village south of Leicester. Troops on both sides were heavily inexperienced in war. Only the leaders of the respective armies had experiences. After his success at the Battle of Marston Moor, Oliver Cromwell took to Parliament an idea of establishing a new army. This army was labeled as the New Model Army and had Oliver Cromwell and Sir Thomas Fairfax as leaders. The troops within the army were fashioned in redcoats, being given the label Redcoats. Throughout the winter, there was a short truce, and after the winter concluded, or should I say the truce concluded, Fairfax took the New Model Army to Leicester in order to relieve the Royal Army's hold on it. Fairfax was previously besieging the Royalist stronghold at Oxford before moving towards Leicester to challenge the army there. Once both sides met, and Cromwell had his cavalry join with Fairfax's infantry, the Battle of Naseby ensued.
Naseby is coming!
Holy heavens!
By the saints!
Both sides fought with equal force until Prince Rupert decided to initiate a strong offensive against the New Model Army. This was slightly successful, but this fixation on the offensive led Cromwell to find an exploit within the attack. Cromwell flanked the Royal Army's left side, clearing through their own cavalry and being successful in attacking the Royal Army's infantry. This led the Royal Army to surrendering, but not wanting the battle even though Prince Rupert commanded them to do so. With another defeat, Charles I fled towards Leicester while under protection. And it wasn't until one whole year when Charles I surrendered. He surrendered on May 5th, 1646, and the Royal Army was practically no more. After years of being prisoner, Charles I was soon beheaded in 1649, his death establishing a new republic within England. After his death, Cromwell decided to take control of England's government, acting as Lord Protector, even though he was a dictator.
I got this next part, Plato. After the English Civil War ended, Cromwell took upon his role of Lord Protector within England's government. However, his role soon devolved into him taking more control and ultimately resulting in his role of Lord Protector being a cover-up for his dictatorial tendencies. While the Republic was supposed to give power to the Commonwealth in England, Cromwell imposed his own Puritan values upon society using his militaristic standing. It wasn't until 1660 when Cromwell died that the common people were fed up with these strict Puritan values and eventually kicked Cromwell's era out from his throne. Now, re-establishing the monarchy under Charles II, under his rule he relieved England of all these strict Puritan values that were enforced during Cromwell's takeover. By doing so, he was given the title as the Merry Monarch by the people since he was reinstating fun within England. As Charles II brought many impactful changes towards England, he sadly met his death during 1885, resulting in James II taking over for him. The restoration within England lasted for 3 more years until the Glorious Revolution took its place.
As James II took to the throne of England during 1685, his rulership was not received positively by the public. James II believed in Catholicism, something that provided an immediate distaste within the common people of England. On top of this, James II threatened the traditional liberties that were presented in England, those being the restrictions of both Anglican beliefs and parliamentary actions. Not wanting to deal with another strict ruler, 7 Englishmen composed of a bishop and 6 politicians decided to write out a letter to William of Orange III and Mary of Modena. They requested that they be the ones to take over the throne and government of England. And after accepting the proposal, James II was soon deposed from the throne in 1688. James II, no longer being in power, established a glorious revolution, led by William of Orange III and Mary of Modena. during their rule. They wished to establish and fix the various issues that English citizens had, as well as the issues within Parliament. In 1689, the English Bill of Rights was established, which gave the protection of free speech, enlisted Parliament to meet at least every 3 years and make laws, and judicial issues are separated from the monarch.
Alright, you're educated. Very cool. Bye bye, go away now.